So thank you again, Gadekar Kaka, for Gadekar Uncle for coming to this session. So we are very happy to have you here on this Diwali night. So we start with 3 times Avtar Mere Baba Ki Jai, and over to you from there. Okay. And for others who want, rest of them can keep themselves on mute unless they want to say something. So we'll start with 3 times Avtar Mere Baba Ki Jai. Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Yes. So over to you, Gadekar Uncle.
Jai Baba. This is Digambar Gadekar from Pune. And first of all, let me wish all of you a very happy Diwali. And may Baba help you to burn the lamp of his love in your heart continuously. That is my prayer to beloved Baba on behalf of all of us. And today we begin the program with this song, because today is the day of Diwali. It is the festival of lights, and every household in India is illumined or illuminated, not illumined, but illuminated. That illumination will come in due course. But every household in India practically is illuminated, and a clay lamp containing oil and a wick made of cotton that is put in the oil, and that oil lamp is lighted. And such oil lamps are placed all around the house and inside the house also. The idea is to welcome the goddess Lakshmi, who is the goddess of wealth. So it is welcoming wealth during this Diwali period, Diwali festival. As you have been told by our Meherchand, that is festival lasts for 5 days, and this is very elaborate, and each day has got its importance. So on behalf of myself and Mayor Nuri and all Baba lovers here, we wish all of you a very happy Diwali, and may Baba help you to continue to burn the lamp of his love in your heart. Jai Baba. So now we start the program, and as was suggested to me, I will begin the program with the song composed by Madhusudan, and the title of the song is Din Hai Aaj Mahan, and it begins with a doha, that is the beginning stanza of each bhajan. So Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Meher Devaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Meher Devaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Meher Devaya Namaha. Purana Purusham Param Pavitram Yugavataram Trilokyanatham Satyam Shivam Sundaram Divyarupam Meherdevo Sharanam Prapadde. The meaning of this doha, or the opening lines, opening stanza, is that I bow down to you, O Lord Meher, O God Meher, and you are the ancient one, and you are the most pious and the most pure one. You are the purest one. You are the avatar of the age, and you are the master of all the 3 worlds. And your beauty, divine beauty, is such that it exhibits the truth and the purest one and the most beautiful one. And O Meher, O Lord Meher, I bow down to thee. And now the song begins. Jago din hai aaj mahan, jago दिन है आज महान, मानव तेरे जन्म जन्म के, मानव तेरे जन्म जन्म के, जागे भाग महान, दिन है आज महान, यारे दिन है आज महान. वसुधा पुलकित होकर डोली, वसुधा पुलकित होकर डोली, गावन लागे है भूपाली, गावन लागे है भूपाली, मंद पवन झूमे हर डाली, मंद पवन झूमे हर डाली, प्रगटे है भगवान, दिन है आज महान, जागो दिन है आज महान. जय बाबा. So this is the opening song by Madhusudan. And
Thank you so
now,
much.
Was that sung before Baba?
Oh yes, this song was sung before Baba many times during in Guru Prasad. And the song, the meaning of the song is that today it is a great day. It is the most significant day. It is one of the greatest day. And wake up all of you, and oh humanity, your fortune for so many lives, it has become great, and that is why you are able to meet the Lord. And that is how this song goes on. There are 4 stanzas in this song. I have just translated the opening stanza. Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Thank you so much, Jai Baba. Yes.
Now?
Now it's your talk. So whatever you planned for the day, all over to you. I think you said you'll speak about the Solapur connection today, right? So
Okay.
you can
Jai Baba to all of you. Today, as I said, that it is the Deepavali day, and it is the light of festivals in India, the festival of lights in India, and practically every house is illuminated, and they put small clay lamps filled with oil and a wick made of cotton, and such lamps are placed before each house, and then all the neighborhood is also illuminated. I can show you some oil lamp so that you can get some idea. Are you able to see, Ganesh?
Yes, we are able to see you.
Now see, this is the oil lamp. Are you able to see the oil lamp?
No, you have to take it towards the oil lamp. We are able to see the wall, not the lamp.
Oh, now?
You are close to the lamp, but not. Can you take it? Yes. Little more. Yes, we can see now.
Yes, so such lamps are placed in the door and all around the house. And the significance of the lamps is to welcome the goddess of wealth. because it is a belief in the Hindu families that on this particular day, the goddess of wealth enters your house, and the lamps are placed, lamps are lit in the doorways to welcome the goddess of wealth, so that throughout the next year, the person does not have any shortage of money. So this is the thought, and that is how today everybody is, every house, every Hindu house you will find in India illuminated with oil lamps. And for Baba lovers like us, every day in Baba's company is the day of Diwali, because it is a day of festival for each of us. Because whenever we think of Baba, or whenever we used to meet Baba during the Sahwas or the Darshan program in Ahmednagar or in Mehrabad or in the Ahmed Wadia Park Darshan program or Solapur Darshan program, we had a feeling in our heart of hearts that today, when we are having Baba Darshan, it is like a day of Diwali in our life. So that was the feeling which all of us had. And Baba was so kind enough to give the darshan and to bless all those people. And all of them felt that it was the day of Diwali. As a matter of fact, in Marathi, there is a abhang, there is a devotional couplet by Tukaram, which goes like this: Sadhu Santa Yeti Ghara Tochi Diwali Dasra. That means the day on which your house is visited by the lovers of God or the sadhus or the saints, then that day you can regard as the day of Diwali in your life. So this is the Hindu belief. And at first I bow down to Avatar Meher Baba, who is residing in the heart of each of you and who has lit the lamp of love, lamp of his love in your heart. So now we can begin the program. So today I thought we shall go back in the history, and we shall also try to recapitulate the days when Baba was in his full glory. And its period is about 1940, 41, 42, 43. And Baba was in his full bloom. And in the year around 1940 or so, Baba was looking so beautiful, and he was so youthful and so vigorous, and so magnetic was his personality, that anybody who would look at Baba would find it very difficult to take away his sight from Baba's face, which was glowing and which was radiant. And he had long hair up to the neck, and the hair were curly, and they were, they were adorning his shoulders. And Baba's beauty was so matchless, that, and his face was so bright, and eyes were so radiant and deep and penetrating, that it was difficult for anybody who comes in contact with Baba or who looks at Baba to take away his sight from Baba's face. That was the divine beauty of Baba. Now we go in the 1940s, and at that time, our family was residing in Solapur. My father, he was an officer with the government of Bombay at that time, because this is before India achieved independence. You know that India achieved independence in 1947, and we are talking about the period of 1940s or 1943 or so. And my father, who was posted in Solapur as the district education officer, he had the responsibility of spreading education throughout the Solapur district, and the entire district was his jurisdiction. So in the capacity of his office, or he would require to travel all over the Solapur district extensively. And my father, as he was a foreign returned, he had been to Scotland in 1938-39, and he studied in the University of Edinburgh, and he obtained the diploma in education from the University of Edinburgh. So when he had returned with this degree from Scotland, naturally the government was very pleased with him, and he was promoted as an educational officer and was entrusted with the task of spreading education in the entire Solapur district. So he was appointed as the district education officer for Solapur. And during that period, he had to travel extensively throughout the district and spread the education amongst the villagers, so that he was instrumental in establishing many schools and high schools and even colleges in Solapur district in his official capacity. So wherever he would go, my father had a habit of telling about Baba. Suppose he visits a school for inspection, so he will convene a meeting of all the teachers of the school, including the headmaster or the principal of the school, and then he would address all the teachers and he address the principal. And during this, after this address was over, then he would ask questions to the teachers and the principal, and ask for their inclination. So if anybody showed inclination about spirituality, my father would single him out and sit with him separately and tell him about Meher Baba, give him Baba's photograph or give him Baba's literature or books which he used to carry in his briefcase. And these books he will distribute free of cost. He would purchase the books at his cost, and then he would distribute Baba's books to deserving people for their reading. So that was my father. And he went to such an extent that every officer, permanent employee of the government, is required to deposit certain amount of money, which is called as Provident Fund. And this Provident Fund is given to the employee at the time of retirement. So it is accumulated, and government puts his equivalent amount and even use interest to this amount. So this is called the Provident Fund. So my father would take out a loan from the Provident Fund, and out of that loan, he would purchase Baba's literature and Baba's books and Baba's circular and distribute them to the deserving people. So actually, this went to such an extent that he removed his entire Provident Fund. And when he had expired, and then when my mother went to the office to collect the Provident Fund, she was told by the officers there that he does not have any amount Provident Fund.
I think the screen got frozen. I think Gadekar Kaka's screen got frozen. We'll just wait for a moment. So, Gadekar uncle, we aren't able to hear you and we aren't able to.
Hello.
Yeah, now we are able to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we are able to hear you now. In between, we lost you.
Yes, there's somebody called me. I don't know, some unknown number.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So let's
And
get to.
yeah,
Hmm.
sure.
So what is it that I was sharing with you?
So you were telling about the provident fund and everything. So when your mother
Ha,
went to collect that,
ha.
that is
Yes. So when my mother went to collect the whatever provident fund that was left after the death of my father, she was told by the officers that there is no balance left because he had already withdrawn all the money. And then we realized that he had withdrawn the money. He had purchased Baba's books, and he would uh, distribute those books free of cost to deserving people who would express curiosity to know more about Baba. So that is how my father was. Hello, are you able to hear?
yes, we are able to hear. We are able to hear. Yes,
Okay, fine.
yes.
So my father was posted to Solapur, and when he was posted there, he would spread Baba's name to whomsoever he met, either in the office or in the transit or wherever he would go on tour, because he was the district education officer, and he would require to travel by train or by bus and visit the different schools in the district and know their difficulties and try to get first-hand information about them and try to help them on behalf of the government by way of grants or by way of some incentives and like that. So that is how my father was. And when he would hear, he would come across somebody who is curious to know more about Baba. He would be very happy, and he would share with him Baba stories, or he would lend him the book to read, or he would invite him to our place to where we would hold, where regular weekly meetings would be held, uh, along with bhajan program by Madhusudan every Thursday in our house. That was the period of 1940 to 47 or so, and 47, 40, 50. And that is how Madhusudan came in Baba's fold. And that is how all the bhajan mandali was formed one by one. And my father was the director of social welfare in the Bombay state. At that time, it was known as Bombay state. Now it is the government of Maharashtra. It was known as government of Bombay earlier. And they next to the office of the backward class welfare officer, the post which my father was holding, there was a hostel in which the backward class students were living. And one of the students was Pratap Ahir. And Pratap was a very, he used to come to our house and attend Baba's program. And then the hostel in which he was staying, it was run by, the in charge of the hostel was the president, was the superintendent. And the name of the superintendent or the hostel warden was Mr. L.B. Thade. So L.B. Thade was the warden of the hostel in which Pratap Ahir was staying. So that is how Thade family and Ahir's family came into Baba's fold through my father. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And now let us go back to Solapur. And Solapur, he was the district officer. And as I said, he was working tirelessly to spread Baba's name. And he would invite Baba's Mandali to be the chief guest for such meetings which were arranged in honor of Baba throughout the Solapur district. And Baba's Mandali, like Adi Kaka and Dr. Deshmukh, they would be invited, and they would be, or Ramju Abdullah, they would be invited and requested to speak and tell about Baba. So that was the period, and that is how Baba's name gradually began to be spread in the Solapur district. And many people came to know about Baba through the efforts of my father. So many of them expressed a desire to my father that you have loaned us Baba's books, you have loaned his literature to us, and we have read Baba's literature and Baba's books, and you have also given Baba's photograph to us, and he's so beautiful, and he's so attractive, and his personality is so magnetic. Now that we want to have darshan of Meher Baba. So all of them, they expressed the desire. And somebody said that instead of having, they had been to Baba Darshan to Mehrabad, some of them, and they returned very satisfied, and they were full of praise for Baba. And that is how Baba's name spread in Solapur. So they requested my father, these Baba lovers, that we should request Meher Baba to visit Solapur, and so that more and more people will get the opportunity to have his darshan. So my father said, okay, very fine. You fix up the date, and I will seek the permission of Meher Baba and see if he is able to come for Baba for giving darshan in Solapur. So Baba's convenient date was obtained, and this darshan program was fixed, and that was the year of 1943. And this program was held in Solapur. It was one of the memorable programs of Meher Baba in Solapur. And my father worked tirelessly for this program. And at that time, I was a small child, about 1943. I was about 6 or 7 years old, and going to school going kid. And I still got very good memory of this 1943 darshan program of Meher Baba in Solapur. Yes. And this program was organized in a big bungalow, and that bungalow belonged to Dr. Kotnis. Now, Dr. Kotnis was a very well-known doctor in Solapur, and he was well-known all over the world, because what happened that Dr. Kotnis, Dwarkanath Kotnis, he was a medical doctor, and during the First World War of 1914 to 1917, he visited China, and these Chinese soldiers who were injured in the World War I, they were brought to the hospital in which Dr. Kotnis was working. So he attended to these Chinese soldiers who were injured in the World War I, and he rendered very good service to the people of China and the government of China. So the government of China was very pleased with Dr. Kotnis, and they have honored him with the highest award on behalf of the government of China. So that is how Dr. Kotnis was. And later on, Dr. Kotnis purchased this bungalow in which he was staying, and he expired in 1931. And that bungalow was lying vacant. And my father located that bungalow when Baba expressed his desire to give public darshan program in Solapur. So these relatives of Dr. Deshmukh, they were approached. His sister was there and other family members. And my father requested the family of Dr. Kotnis to give permission to use the bungalow for the stay of Meher Baba when Meher Baba would visit Solapur in the year 1943. And they agreed to give the bungalow for Meher Baba's stay. So 1 month rent was paid by my father, though Baba had decided that he would stay there for 1 month, but eventually he stayed in the bungalow for 1 week. And during that 1 week, it was a period of great rejoicing and great jubilation all over Solapur area, because my father, being the district officer of the entire Solapur district. So he had contacted all these, most of his teachers who expressed willingness to know more about Meher Baba and to have his darshan. So they all came from Solapur and even adjacent districts. And one of the teachers, he was Bal Nathu. And Bal Nathu came for Baba's darshan. And that is how the story of Bal Nathu begins. So it was a very memorable program. And in that program, I have got one personal memory of 1943, because this program was held, and throughout the day people came for Baba Darshan, and they had Baba Darshan, and the bungalow was full, and hundreds of people came for Baba Darshan, and they were blessed by Baba, by his personal touch, by his embrace, or by his kiss, and so on and so forth. So the program was over at about 4:30 or 5 or so, and then Baba retired. The program was held in the veranda of the bungalow as well as the courtyard, which was huge courtyard. And as I told you, this Kotnis bungalow, which is still there because now it has been turned as a national monument, and the bungalow is maintained by the government. And the most, interesting thing is that the government does not know that it is maintaining the house in which God Himself had stayed. So that is how it is all Baba's making. But now the bungalow is in the same condition. It is spick and span. Anybody who can visit Solapur is welcome to visit that bungalow, and it is in the same condition. And Baba came with 40 members of Mandali, and these 40 members of the Mandali, they were accommodated in the bungalow, because as you enter the bungalow, there is a huge compound, and in which their garden is there, and the bungalow is located in the central part of the plot. And as soon as you enter, there is a huge porch, and you pass through the porch, and then you climb the stairs of the veranda. And when you cross the veranda, there is a big hall, central hall, and that central hall is having a capacity of 500 people. So 500 people can comfortably sit in that hall. So Baba arranged the darshan program in the hall, and then on the other end of the wall, other side of the wall, there were two bedrooms, and through two doors were there, and through the doors you can enter the bedroom. So Baba was very happy, and the mandali were accommodated, 20 mandali in each room. So all the 40 mandali were comfortably placed, and Baba's arrangement was made on the first floor, and there was a huge room solely allotted to Baba, so that Baba would stay there comfortably. And my father had gone to market along with my mother and purchased this special bed for Meher Baba, and this special, mattresses, and this bedspreads and bed sheets and blankets, especially for Baba, the best quality available in the market. And that was brought and placed at the disposal of Baba. So if you happen to go to Solapur, you are welcome to visit that bungalow, and that Baba's room is also kept in the same condition. Baba's bed is also there, and even the clothes, the bed sheets that were used at that time, they are also probably there. So that was the program in Solapur, Darshan program. And during this program, a funny incident happened with me, because throughout the day Baba's program was going on, and when Baba retired around 5:30 or so, he was looking relaxed, and we were all sitting in front of Baba, my father, my mother, my elder sister Nalini, and myself. All the four of us were sitting at the feet of Baba, and Baba was sitting on the chair. And suddenly what Baba does, Baba looks at my elder sister Nalini, Baba looks at me, and Baba says that now you sing a song for me. So this was Baba's personal order to both of us. He wanted that we should sing a song for him, in front of him. And that caught us on the wrong foot, because we had never sung before. And then my sister was very clever. So she said something, she whispered something in my ear. And then we were ready for the song. And when Baba asked us to sing, Baba gestured that now we should begin our song. Then both of us began our song and we started singing. And what was that song? That song was a song of a movie. One movie was running at that time, and this song was from that movie. And what does the song, words of the movie song, what do they tell? That in the song, the beauty of the moon is described. And the song goes like that. तू कौन से बदली में है चांद मेरे आजा. That means the song is addressed to the moon, and in the song it is said, "Oh moon, behind which cloud are you hiding? You come out of the cloud so that we can be able to see your beauty." So that was the song, and that was the hit song at that time, and it was on the lips of every moviegoer in Solapur. So what we did, my sister and myself, instead of the word moon in that song, we inserted the word Baba. So the song went like that. "Oh Baba, behind which cloud are you hiding? Come out of the cloud and show us your face." And this song we sung. "तू कौन से बदली में है बाबा मेरे आजा, and शिष्यो है तेरे जख्मे जिगर इनमें समा जा." And the song goes like that. "The stars are like the wounds on your chest. So you bless the stars and come out." So instead of the word stars, we put the word disciples. And the song went like that. "Oh Baba, you are residing in the hearts of all the disciples. Come out and give us darshan." And when we sang this song before Baba, and "तू कौन से बदली में है बाबा मेरे आजा, शिष्यो है तेरे जख्मे जिगर इनमें समा जा." When Baba heard this song, which was sung by Nalini and myself, Nalini was hardly 12 or 13 years, and myself was hardly 7 or 8 years. And when both of us sang this song, Baba began to laugh, and he held his stomach, and he laughed and laughed and laughed. And he said, "Oh, look at these children. They are so small, and they are singing such a beautiful song in my praise. Oh, come, come, come." So he gestured to both of us. So he called Nalini and he called Digambar, and he embraced both of them in turn, one by one. And that is how that embrace was so soft, and it was so tight, and it was so soft that I still remember that sweet embrace which Meher Baba gave to us. So that was the memory of the Solapur Darshan program, which I thought that I should share with all of you, dear ones, on this special day. Because today is a day of festivals, day of the light festival of lights. And I thought that we should, in our hearts, we should light the lamp of love of Meher Baba and pray to Meher Baba that this lamp of his love burns everlastingly in our hearts. Jai Baba.
Thank you so much, Gadekar uncle. It was lovely. So you took us back to Solapur today on this Diwali day. Thank you so much. So let us check if anybody has any question. So right now, so anybody, yeah. So Betty has a question. So Betty, yes.
Well, it's not a question, but it's your story about the Solapur bungalow reminded me that it's a similar situation in Oceano, California. There, the government, or the city actually, government preserved a little cabin where Baba stayed on the ocean one night in 1935, Christmas Eve, or no, Christmas, right around there. And Baba stayed, and it was a group of sort of bohemian people who lived in little cabins on the ocean. Baba went to visit them for one night, and he stayed in this cabin, which was owned by a man named Gavin Arthur, who was a grandson, I believe, of President. So the reason they preserved this cabin, I believe, is because it was associated with the president. But it's the cabin that Baba chose to stay in. So there in California, you can go and see, you can go and see where Baba stayed. because they preserved it because of the association with the president. Similar story. That's all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Betty. Now this bungalow, this Dr. Courtney's bungalow, is now a national monument, and
Wow.
it is maintained. Now it is maintained by the government,
Mhm.
and the government is little aware of the fact that it is maintaining the house in which the Lord has stayed. So anybody can go to Solapur and visit this bungalow and enjoy the atmosphere of Meher Baba in the year 1943.
Wonderful. We're fortunate.
And this is going to be perpetual.
Uh-huh.
This is going this. So Baba has done this work for us for posterity.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is how the master works.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Baba. So anybody else? Mm. So Betty, thanks for that sharing that point. Nobody has any other questions? So people are very happy today. Jeff, anything you want to share?
I'm trying to think. I always like any kind of the personal stories. If Digambar, if you can dig up any more stories, a little incidents of how Baba related to somebody that especially touched you. You know, the little personal stories like where Baba would be at Pune and he at these little gatherings where he might relate to somebody in a special way, a mother or a child or somebody. Any of those that come to mind?
Okay, there are so many stories like that, but I will tell you the story which comes to my mind straight away.
Good.
And for that, we shall have to go to Guru Prasad. And the year is 1955, 56, 57. That period is there. And the Guru Prasad belonged to the Maharani of Baroda. And you already know the story of Guru Prasad, how it came in Baba's fold and how it was placed at Baba's disposal by Maharani Shanta Devi of Baroda. So this there are so many stories which come to the mind. But one thing is there about Baba's personal attention to people. And one incident happened with me in Guru Prasad. And at that time, I was wearing glasses I was having short sight. So I was required to use these glasses for throughout the day. I was a teenager at that time and a teenager with a short sight. So I was required to use the glasses. And once it so happened that we were in Guru Prasad and we were in Bhajan Mandali and we were having program and Madhusudan was singing and all of us were singing in chorus, Pratap and myself and Narendra and all that. And Madhusudan was the lead singer. And my sister was also there, and Subhadra Bandelu, now who became later married to Madhusudan, she was also there. And these were the two leading female singers, and they were singing before Baba. And this program was going on. Madhusudan was singing the songs, and I was singing in the chorus, and I was wearing the glasses constantly those days. And it so happened that somehow I removed the glasses and placed before me, and I was singing without wearing glasses, looking at Baba. Then Baba looked at me, and Baba gestured that, Digambar, why have you removed your glasses? Put on your glasses and don't remove them. You continue to wearing glasses because that is medical advice, and don't act against medical advice. So that was a very minute attention that Baba gave to me, and that that incident has been enshrined in my heart forever. So this is I wanted to share with you. Jai Baba.
Wow, wow, thanks for that.
You know, Dunbar, I'm reminded of how Baba would check to see how Lynn Ott, how well he had shaved, being blind. But what it meant is that for the rest of his life, even after Baba dropped his body, whenever he shaved, he was always reminded of Baba. You know, just that little personal incident was part of his memory every morning when he had to shave. And so it
That is
must be
true.
every time you put on your glasses in the morning, you're reminded. That's beautiful.
That is true. That is true. Every time I used to wear glasses, I used to remember about Baba.
Yeah.
That is
beautiful.
very true. So there are some incidents like this, which shows Baba's infinite love for his lovers and the minute attention which he used to pay for each one of his lovers. And one incident I wanted to share with you. Ganesh, is there some time?
We have ample time for you. Don't worry. We have ample time for you. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a memory when Baba was staying in Guru Prasad during those days. And Baba would sometimes not stay in Guru Prasad, but before Guru Prasad was placed at Baba's disposal, Baba used to stay in Ganeshkhind and in the quarter of Dadi Kerawala. Now, Dadi Kerawala is cousin of Nirvan Jassawala, and Dadi was a horticulturist in the agriculture department of the Bombay government at that time. And he was allotted a quarter, and this quarter was very large quarter. And Dadi Kerawala was a bachelor, and he was staying alone in this large quarter. And when Baba came to know that Dadi Kerawala is allotted this big quarter and he is staying alone in that quarter, many times Baba would himself go and stay in that quarter because there was nobody else other than Dadi in that quarter. So Baba would be happy there also. And then later on, he used to stay in Guru Prasad, which was made available to Baba by the Maharani of Baroda, Maharani Shantadevi. So I remember one incident when Baba was staying in the quarter of Dadi Kerawala. Now, it so happened that Baba was staying there, and I went for Baba Darshan along with some people, because some people had come from Andhra and they came to our house and requested my father that he should take them for Baba Darshan to the house where Baba was staying. That was in Ganeshkhind, in the just behind the University of Pune. So my father said, okay, let's go. So accordingly, all these people and my father and myself, we went for Baba Darshan in Ganeshkhind. So those people had Baba Darshan who had come from Andhra all the way. And Baba was in a very happy mood. And then when the darshan was over, then the people started to move. And they began to leave the hall in which the darshan was held. And there was a dais there. And Baba was sitting on the dais. And a big hall about a capacity of about 200 people. And people were beginning to vacate that hall. And practically the hall was vacant. Only a few people had left. And I was standing in front of Baba. And Baba was sitting on the dais. And I was standing in front of Baba. And Baba looks at me. And what does Baba say? Baba says to me, now Digambar, you sing my arati. So I was very happy. And I sang Baba's arati in front of Baba. Baba was sitting on the dais, on the chair, and I was standing in front of Baba, and I sang that Arati. And when the Arati was over, Baba was very happy. During the Arati, he was swaying like this. He was swaying, and he seemed to enjoy the singing of Arati by me. So when the Arati was over, I thought it is time to leave. So I waited for a minute and I began to inch towards the door. Baba looked at me and Baba said, "Stop, stop, stop." I was wondering why Baba is asking me to stop. Baba said to me, "You don't go. You come and stand in front of me." I said, "Yes, what is this? Why does Baba want me to stand in front of him?" So I stood in front of Baba. Then Baba looked at me and Baba said to me, "Now you sing the Arti again." And I was so very happy and I sang the Arti again. And when the Arati was over, then I looked at Baba and now I thought that Baba will give me permission to leave the hall and return to my home. And I was waiting and waiting for Baba's order. Baba looked at me and Baba said, "No, no, 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 don't go. You stand there and you sing my Arti again." So I was surprised, and this went on and on and on. And on that day, at Baba's command, I sang Baba's Arati 7 times in front of him. So
Wow.
this is one of the incidents which I wanted to share with you.
Can you sing that Arti for us? Which was this Arti? And can you sing it for
The
us?
most memorable day, one of the most memorable day in my life, that Baba asked me to sing his Arati in front of him, not only once, not only twice, not only thrice, but 7 times. And at the end of it, Baba says that I am very happy with you, Digambar. He calls me and he embraces me and he kisses me on the cheek. So that was the love of Baba. And that Arati was this Marathi Arati composed by Dr. Deshmukh. Meher Baba Shri Guru Raya, Tava Charanavanduni, Pavana Tava Charanavanduni. Ganesh, you might have heard this Arati.
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Deshmukh Marathi Arati. So
yes.
that
Okay.
was the Arati. And that was the Arati which Baba liked very much. Because in that Arati, Baba's description is there, which is very succinct and very beautifully Baba's beauty is described.
So, so we have people requesting you to sing. So if you can sing a few lines from it, so everybody is eager to hear that. So just a few lines, if that's okay with
Okay,
you.
I shall be happy to share this one stanza of this Arati, opening line and one stanza. Meher Baba Sri Guru Raya Tava Charana Vanduni Pavana Tava Charana Vanduni Pritichi Fulavat Lavuni Ovalu Arati Aham Bhav Karpura Jaluni Arpi Mana Pushpa Rajasa Arpi Mana Pushpa ओवाळू प्रीतीने माझा श्री सद्गुरु राणा मेहेर बाबा श्री गुरु राया तव चरणा वंदुनी पावना तव चरणा वंदुनी प्रीतीची फुलवात लावुनी ओवाळू आरती अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय.
Really beautiful. Thank you so much. So we have a couple of hands more. So Rosel wants to speak.
Jai Baba, Dr. Adhikar.
Jai Baba, Betty.
You have,
Rosel.
no, this is Rosalie. Jai Baba.
Rosel.
You spoke so beautifully of how Baba looked, and I think you were mentioning 55, but I was wondering your impression after the difference between how he looked after his Satara accident.
Oh.
What is your memory of how he looked? So much suffering there.
Yes, that is true. I have seen Baba in Guru Prasad after the Satara accident. And his leg was in plaster and his hip was shattered, right hip was shattered, and his leg was in the plaster cast. And it was so painful for Baba during those days. And whenever we used to go for Baba Darshan, though Baba's health was not good and his hip was paining continuously, and that pain was excruciating, but in spite of that, Baba continued to give darshan to his devotees. And once I remember Baba telling us that pointing to his hip and to his right leg and his right thigh, and Baba used to point out to his right hip, and Baba used to say that the suffering of the entire world is concentrated in this spot. The spot on the right hip, Baba said that it is the spot where all the sufferings of the entire world is concentrated. So we could just imagine how much painful it must have been and how much he suffered for all of us. So this is what I wanted to share with you. But in spite of that, whenever there would be the program or bhajan or a darshan program, Baba would look so cheerful and so beautiful and so radiant and so glowing that none of us had the slightest inkling of the excruciating pain that she would continuously bear while putting up a very beautiful and radiant face for us. And that is all because of his love for us. So this is I wanted to share with you.
Thank you. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba Rosalie.
We have now Merchant. I think I can see his hand raised.
Yes, Merchant, your question, Merchant.
To
Maybe he's
unmute
not
this,
well.
now unmuted. I would like to ask you a question to Kaka. That you have been accompanied to Pandharpur along with Gadge Maharaj and all, and you are also aware that Gadge Maharaj was given the highest status of Rashtriya Sant to Maharashtra state. But
Yes, yes, yes.
and he always used to say, "My seat is just near the feet of Baba." Did any impression after seeing? Did Gadge Maharaj has created any impression about his followers to follow Meher Baba? And similar lines as that of with Vaswani and also Osho.
Now, Gadge Maharaj, he would come for Baba Darshan accompanied by his disciples. And whenever Gadge Maharaj would come to meet Baba, Gadge Maharaj would prostrate in front of Baba. Suppose Baba is sitting on the dais, whenever Gadge Maharaj would approach Meher Baba, who is sitting on the dais, Gadge Maharaj would prostrate on the ground. And then he would bow down to Baba in this manner. He would get up and then approach Baba for having his darshan and having his embrace. That was how Gadge Maharaj was. And when his own disciples observed this, that their own Sadguru is bowing down to Meher Baba, they also followed the suit and they also bowed down to Meher Baba in the same manner. I remember the disciple of Gadge Maharaj, his name was Kaikadi Maharaj. He also came for Baba Darshan and he also paid Baba's respect in the same manner. So this is what I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, how about the Vaswa? And because you also explain them because what is meant by Rashtriya Sant to them, because I know what is Rashtriya Sant. But people my Western brothers and sisters understand what is meant by Rashtriya Sant. And
Sant is saint. Sant means saint.
He is given status of an
Sant means saint, S-A-I-N-T, saint. Yeah. And Rashtriya means national. So what Gadge Maharaj did, he did a lot of service for the poor. He opened the hostels and hospitals for the poor and the downtrodden. And he would give free treatment to all the patients in the hospitals, which were run by the trust which was founded by Gadge Maharaj. In the same manner, there were many hostels established in different parts of Maharashtra, like Pandharpur and Solapur and Pune. And in these hostels, free accommodation and boarding, free food would be given to the poor students who would come to study in that particular place from the surrounding villages. So that was the service that Gadge Maharaj rendered to the humanity. So this is
And he basically, I think probably Gadge Maharaj is hails from Amravati. And that's the reason now you can see a lot of people from Vidarbha is coming to Baba's fold. And
Yes.
during,
See,
yeah,
there
that's
is
what, that's what my feeling is that, yeah.
Yes, that is true. As a matter of fact, now there is a university established in Amravati, and the name of university is Sant Gadge Baba University. The name of the university is after Gadge Maharaj.
Yeah.
And many people, as you have pointed out rightly, from that region have become followers of Meher Baba because there is a very active center in Amravati which hold regular Baba's programs and meetings, and some of them might be participating in this very program, and they would be very happy to know about this incident.
And Gadge Maharaj Dharamshala is also next to Pune Center. There's one on the main road.
Gadge Maharaj, not only in Pune, but in so many places like
because
Solapur.
people are accommodated during 1962, Savas also there.
Yes, that is true. In 1962 Savas, East-West gathering, there were many people who were accommodated in Gadge Maharaj Dharmashala near this Somwarpet swimming pool. And I was one of the volunteers who would take the guests to this Gadge Maharaj Dharmashala and help them in their accommodation.
Thank you, Kaka, for sharing it. Because I had something in my mind, I just got clarified. Jai Meher Baba.
Meher Chand Nuri is very inquisitive mind.
Yeah.
Yes, Baba has given you this gift, Meher Chand.
Yes, Baba.
Yes. So Jeff and Vijay and Betty,
so
any
we
more
have
questions?
Gadekar uncle, we have one question from Yasmin after this. Yeah.
Yasmin, yes. Yasmin Haradwala.
Yes. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Yasmin.
Yeah, how are you? You're okay?
Fine. How are you, Yasmin?
I'm okay. I'm fine too. Thank you. I wanted to know, like Meher Chand said, did Osho ever meet Baba?
Oh, see, Osho had a great desire to have Baba's darshan. Osho used to publish a magazine also in which he has praised Baba, and he was anxious to have Baba's darshan. I'm not sure whether he was able to have Baba's darshan or not.
Because many of Osho's followers have come to Baba eventually now.
That is true. Through Osho, many have become followers of Baba. That is very true. Like you see, there's so many other media are there. These persons who have become catalysts in bringing other people in Baba's fold, like Nan Umbriger and others.
But probably he himself has never met Baba, right? He himself
Osho,
probably.
not that I know of.
As far as my knowledge is also concerned, Osho never met Baba. But during Osho spirit, there was a lot of sales for the God Speaks in Pune Center.
That is
Sale of God Speaks copies. And Osho advised all his followers to read God Speaks.
Okay, Narendra Prasad, any question? Dr. Prasad? Dr. Prasad?
His hand is raised. So, please can you unmute yourself? Dr. Prasad, can you unmute yourself? I think you're on mute, so we can see your hand raised. Not sure.
Dr. Prasad,
Yes.
unmute yourself.
I think maybe some issue with his connection also. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Jai Baba. So what I wanted to say is that when in the mid 60s or something like that, Osho, he used to quote Baba's things quite extensively as his own sayings to his followers. And Adi got very wild. And in fact, he raised it and then he was about to sort of send a very rebuttal to Osho. Then Baba said, why are you worried about that? He is actually doing my work. So probably that is the reason why Osho's disciples are now coming to Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Digambar, we can't see you, but
Oh.
we know you're there.
Yeah, yeah.
But wonderful sharing. Always beautiful to see you and hear all these little stories that fill in the picture of Baba's love.
I think some maybe network issue at his end.
Oh, is he still there? I don't know.
Yeah, he is there. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's unmuted himself. So yes, Gadekar uncle, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can't see you. I think your video is off.
Oh, video.
Okay, I think we're done with the questions. So a lot of questions today. Yeah. So we can. So thank you, Gadekar uncle. It was very lovely. Each of us has really enjoyed. You took us back to Baba's time, and so there we were with you, experiencing the events. Right, we got from the first hand. So with you. So really, thank you. Really fortunate to have you here. And thank you so much. So we will close this session again with 3 times Avatar Mere Baba Ki Jai. Everyone can unmute themselves now and 3 times Avatar Mere Baba Ki Jai. Okay. Avatar Meher Baba Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Avatar
Meher Baba ki Jai.
Jai.
Avatar Meher
Meher
Ki
Baba
Jai.
Ki Jai. Jai.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you.
Digambar.
so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Now Digambar's got to sing the Archie 7 times.
I'd like to hear the popular song that you rewrote for Baba. That from the Indian, the Hindi, the from the film.
From the movie.
The one that you sang along with your sister.
Yeah, the one you sang along with your sister. Maybe next time you can
Next time.
prepare it for us.
See if we can get him to
Yeah.
go back and watch the old movies. Netflix.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
And go to
Good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful evening for us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
love to
Jai
Jai Baba. Thank you everybody.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Jai Baba.
Digambar, Gadekar, and Ganesh, and everybody. And
Yeah.
Thank you, Baba.
be careful out there with those fireworks.
Not this year. It's not going to be much because of COVID and other things. So it's just
I
going to
hope
be little.
so.
Mm.
Good. I don't like them. So anyway, this was wonderful. Just a love feast. Beautiful darshan with beloved and all of you. I'm so grateful. Always so grateful. Thank you, Baba, for these sharings. They're so meaningful and so wonderful that Angela's recording everything. What a blessing.
Jai Baba.
Jai
There,
Baba. Until next time.
Jai Baba, Jeff.
Yeah, Jai Baba Digambar. Beautiful. Love to your wife and your
Oh, thank you very
daughter.
much.
Yeah.
Oh, I shall surely convey to her.
Mera.